Hey guys, we're going to come at you here from Red Hill Tactical headquarters with a video that you guys keep asking for. Kind of going to walk you through some step-by-steps. You keep asking. Hi guys, here we are with the video that we keep getting asked about. A couple times a week, we will get emails asking for hey, I'm new to this competition shooting. Hey, I'm a new shooter. Never bought a holster, never bought a belt. What is this silly aluminum thing that came in the bag? We get all sorts of emails asking these questions. And so those of us who've been around this game for a while, or even my folks here that have been working for me for a while, get the idea of what we have, what we're doing, how it works. Unfortunately, the problem is it's not easy and sometimes not intuitive for some people to get this, because it's really not easy to figure it out if you've never done it before. So when you get your gear, first thing I'd start with is your main holster. Your holster is going to come out in there. You're going to find this aluminum, we call it a triangle, on the back with two Phillips head screws. So you are going to need to get yourself a Phillips head screwdriver. Standard bit works. I wouldn't use anything with power. That's me. I use power stuff. You're going to end up stripping some. This is aluminum. You don't want to do that. Okay, Phillips head. In your bag with your drop, this is your drop hanger bracket. You're going to want to pull your drop hanger bracket out. In this package, Springer is nice enough that he's included the Allen wrenches you're going to need, the appropriate size. He's also included some blue Loctite in his packages. Blue Loctite's super important. As you get everything together, you get it where you want to. In our instructions, we even tell you Loctite your stuff in place. We include Vibratite. He includes blue Loctite. Make sure you use something to hold it together. It's going to make a difference. So that's there. Your mag pouches are going to come. They're going to open up. You'll get 4 of them in your package. I've got the other one sitting here. On the back of them, there's going to be what we call the adjustable latching loop. These are going to clamp on the belt. You're going to notice a lot of times when you put these on, they're going to be super tight. So I'm going to give you some hints to kind of go through that. So we're going to walk you through that. And if you ordered one of our leather ratcheting belts, you're going to want to take time to kind of look and familiarize yourself with how it comes apart. By pulling the ratchet, you can tighten it down. To loosen it, just like a ski, you loosen it and pull it out. So the first thing I would do is I would get my belt and I would position it around myself where I want it, and get an idea of how I want it. If you're somebody who likes the hooks in the back, that's going to go one way. If you like the opening in the front, it's going to go another way. Again, once you have this all together, Loctite this screw in the front that holds the strap in place. So you get it where you want. You're happy with it. Some people will even trim off and round some of the excess of the strap. You can do that. Don't have to. I do on my gear. I don't like the extra stuff hanging off a whole lot, so I trim off some of the extras. So the first thing I'm going to do, I get it where I want. I'm going to go ahead and take Springer's tools. I always start with the drop. That's just me. So I index, my arms hang here naturally. So you want to set your holster up so that your holster, the grip of your gun, is in where your natural hand position is going to be, as close to it as possible. So obviously I want my gun a little bit below my waist if possible. So that's where the drop comes in. You want it a little bit out. Helps you get some speed on it. I always index off the front of my hip bone right here. I find that works well for me. Gets me a very, very great straight up and down draw without loosening my speed. So I'm going to take this guy apart. And he's got these screws in here pretty tight, so don't be surprised if you got to use it the long way. So take it apart. Pull out the 4 screws. All right. And this is going to come apart in 2 pieces. It's probably not going to slide on any belts, so just be aware it comes apart in 2 pieces. It's not designed to slide on. It's not designed to clamp on. If you have an 1 3/4 belt, you didn't buy a belt off us, you're using an 1 3/4, you would pull out these two little Allen heads. That's going to give you an 1 3/4 instead of 1.5 inches. Okay. So start with that. I'm then going to grab my belt. I have my position that I want, and I'm going to place the two pieces together over the belt. Notice this is really tight. This does not just sit in there and like fall in place. Like it is tight. Okay. So I'm going to set them down. I'm using my hands to hold it together. I'm going to line up my holes. And I'm just going to start the screws a little bit. I don't want to start tightening them down yet because I want to be able to start all 4 of them before I clamp them down. Again, the belt is supposed to, the drop is supposed to be really tight on the belt. You don't want it to move. Notice I'm using 2 hands to do this process. Once I have it all started, okay, again, I'm using 2 hands, I'm holding it down. So once I have it started, I have it in place, I can move it a little bit. I mean, it's not going to slide a whole lot, but it can move a little bit. Go ahead and I'll tighten this up, you know, as tight as I want it so I know it doesn't move. Generally, you can get 3-4 turns on it without a whole lot of issue. Obviously, if you tighten the top up more than the bottom, you might get some angles on it, but you can see, you can tighten it down a good bit. All right, so I got that where I want it. Now, again, I'm doing this for a video, so I'm going to pull this back apart. You may want to consider adding your Loctite to those if once you are totally happy that's where it's going to sit. Do not Loctite it until you're happy that's where it's going to sit. All right, so I got the drop hanger in place. I've got to pull these 2 screws out of the back of the holster. All right, so I pull them out. I typically find I set mine about in the middle of the drop pattern. You're going to want to play with how you wear your belts, how you wear your gear, where your gun sits in the holster. I find that I'm typically in that middle hole, like so. Again, you've got to make these tight. The tighter you are, the less likely you're going to have movement. So I prefer and have found with our double layer holsters that mounting it perfectly vertical, you're going to get the smoothest, quickest draw. Some people like canting it forward. Some people like it backwards. I have found the quickest way is perfectly vertical. You know, you're going to want to play with that. Once you play with it, you get it set where you set, Loctite it. Again, use torque, push down on it, tighten it up, Loctite it. Everything on your belt should be Loctited. Folks, other side, check your screws every once in a while. They come loose even with Loctite or Vibratite on them. All right, so I got the holster, I got the drop in place. Next thing I got to do is my mag pouches. So your mag pouch, you're going to open this little clip right here, squeeze and open. All right, inside there's 2 prongs. These 2 little, I don't know what you call them. They're 2 little spacers, I think. That's what I call them. All right, you're going to have to pull them out and move them to one side or the other. Measure on your belt where it fits, okay? So I know I can put it at the second one from the bottom. So I'm going to place it down here at the second one from the bottom. And these things take a little bit of, maybe not doing it in the air like that would work better. Second one from the bottom. All right. Now, again, you're going to notice they're going to be tight on the belt, right? Well, you don't want your gear sliding, all right? So it is okay to actually grab hold of them and squeeze it in and push them until they latch in place, like so. And you're going to push it till it latches, and then you close your strap. All right, and now that will put your mag pouch in place. Okay, they have to be tight. If they're not, they're going to move. Use some force to squeeze them. It's okay. It's not going to break them. So you're going to repeat that process with your other mag pouches, depending on how many you want. Our equipment comes with 4. A lot of you guys shooting limited optics or carry optics might only need to put 2 on. You shoot in production, you might want to put all 4 on. So, again, there's how you put together your Red Hill Tactical competition holster system. Have a great one, folks.